Do you ever make a card that you need to have a box for, but you don't have a box? Well, come on, I'll show you how to make one.
Hello everybody, this is Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps. And welcome to the studio. I'm glad you are spending some time with me. Today I wanted us to look at some ways to send these kinds of things that we make periodically that are weird. You know, they just won't go in your normal envelope, or they'll smush if they do. And so I found this bow card on YouTube, I don't know, somewhere, and decided I was going to make one. But of course the standard envelope is not going to come anywhere near to being able to pack this away. So I wanted us to look at some measurements and a way to make a box that has a top and a bottom to it. So there are some things that we're going to need, but first I wanted to go over this little formula, and this will be on the Facebook page, or you can take a picture of it if you want to. But let me explain how that works. There's a box top and a box bottom, and there's measurements, the card length, width, and height. And on this particular card, it's 6.5 by 5. So I put my numbers there. And then I used my little ruler here, and about 1 inch on the height will do it just fine. So this is the one that we're going to make today. And you take the length plus 1/2 inch plus 2 times the height. So that would be 6.5 plus 1/2 is 7. And then 2 times the height is 2, or 9 inches by 7.5 inches. And you can see how that travels right across there. And the bottom dimensions are a little bit smaller so that the top will set down over top of them just fine. And that would be the length plus 3/8 of an inch plus 2 times the height, or 6 7/8 plus 2, which is 8 7/8. And then the width is the width, which is 5, plus 3/8 plus the 2, which is 7 3/8. So this is the paper size for the bottom, and this is the paper size for the top. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that now for this card right here. We're going to do 2 boxes today, so the video may be a little long because I wanted to do a box for this little oddball piece as well. I'm going to start out with some heavyweight cardstock, and this is the card weight that I use for my card bases. It's 271 GSM and 100 pounds weight. So I want to cut this, come on now, at 9. This is for the top. I want to cut this at 9 by 7.5. Seven and a half. And then for the bottom, I want to cut it at 8 7/8. So that's 8 7/8. By 7 3/8. There, and that's all the cutting I need to do for the big box. So let's get it made right quick because it's easy to make boxes. You all probably know how to make boxes already, but I just wanted to share this formula with you and show you how to make these kind of weird sized ones. Now, because this box is 1 inch high, in order to fit that card, then we're going to back off the line by 1 inch. So that's 7 3/8 on the paper size. So I'm going to make it 6 3/8. And I'm going to turn it and score it again at 6 3/8. Does that make sense? Because we're just going to have a 1 inch box. And then it is 8 7/8, so I'm going to make it 7 7/8. Flip it and do the same thing, 7 7/8. And I'm going to do the top now. So it's 9, I'm going to make it 8. Flip it and do 8 again. And turn it the other way, and it's 7 1/2, so I'm going to make it 6 1/2. And that will make your box height 1 inch. Flip it and do 6 1/2 again. Now, let's just make sure. It's always good to check. And that'll fit nicely in this box. So, let's go ahead and get the box made. And then we'll get this little oddball size one fixed. So, you'll need a pair of scissors, and we're going to cut on this score line, and then take just a little small wedge off and a little small wedge off here, and then turn it and do the same thing. Cut down the score line, take a little tiny wedge off both sides. Then we're going to turn it around to the other end, do the same thing. And flip it and do the same thing again. Did I get that? I forgot this little one here, didn't I? There. So that's what that looks like, and we're going to do both of them the same way. Come right down that score line and make a tiny wedge and cut a little wedge off the other side. Flip it and do the same thing. So you're cutting just opposite of where you cut before, and you're going to make your little turn-in tabs this way, see? Now, I don't know that these boxes, oops, I forgot that again, didn't I? Can't walk and talk and chew gum at the same time. That's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? Okay, now, so that one's done. Now, all we have to do is to fold the scores. And I like to do bump in. I don't know that that matters. I just was trained when I learned how to make cards to do bump in, so that's just what I do. We're going to fold these little tabs down. Now, I'm going to use art glitter glue. You can use tear and tape, or some of that super duper tape runner that some of them have now. But I just happen to like art glitter glue for this. And we're going to do both ends of the tabs. Fold this up. And fold this one up. Hold it for a minute. If you don't want to hold it, you can use some little clips. That's fine too. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other end. You can decorate these boxes up however you want to, but today it's not all about decorating. It's just a matter of figuring out the size on how to make a box that'll fit something so that you can either give it as a gift or put it in another box and mail it. And it's using things that you already have in your studio on hand, because you know we all have this heavyweight cardstock. Let's do this one now. Fold on all the score lines, including the little dog ears. They're super simple to make, and they're fun to decorate. And so I would, before I get ready to send this card out, I will decorate this box, but I just didn't want to take the time to do that today. I wanted to show you how to make them. There we go. And the reason that you cut that little tab off is so that you've got plenty of clearance, and you can fold your box nice and square that way then, and it doesn't interfere with how you bend your box up. There. Now, which is the bottom, which is the top? There we go. So this is the bottom. My little card's going to go right down in there. And there's the box for it, all ready to go. Be decorated or not decorated. The lid fits. There's enough room where you can get the lid on easily. There's 1/8 of an inch all the way around your box so that the lid goes down nicely on those. Now, let's look at this little guy here and try to figure out what size we need to make it. And I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in and use the corner, because you got a 0 mark here and the same numbers going there as you do coming down here. So it's looking to me like a 4.5 this way would work, and that way also will work 4.5 inches. So on the height, I'm going to say 3/4. Let's just make this box 1 inch, and then we'll do the formula. Okay, now I'm coordinated. So we said 4 3/4. Okay, so the card length is 4 3/4, and that's going to be square. And the height, we're just going to do 1 inch. So that is 4 3/4 plus 1/2. So that would be 5 1/4 plus 2, or 7 1/4. And on the width, it's going to be the same thing, because this is going to be a square box. So it just goes right over there. This will be easy, won't it? Now on this one, we're going to take 1/8 of an inch off of that. So you can either do the math again, it's real simple, or you can just take 1/8 of an inch off of here and make it 7 1/8 square. All right, so let's cut our paper. I want 7 1/4. And that'll be for the top. I'm going to turn it and cut it again at 7 1/4. Okay, now the bottom is going to be 7 1/8. And turn and cut it again, because it's going to be square also. Now I can put my trimmer away and get my scoreboard back out. And because we made these at 1 inch, They'll be easy to figure out, won't they? So that's 7 1/8. Where'd my little guy go? 7 1/8. We're going to do 6 1/8. Turn it, and I'm just going to turn it one time because we're going to do the same on all of these. I've always liked making boxes, and I like recovering boxes also, like Kleenex boxes and that sort of thing. Now it's 7 1/4, so we moved up. I'm going to go to 6 1/4. I use the small end and then the big end because my small end's about ready to croak on me. Just any day. I got this at the Dollar Tree several years ago. I don't even know if they still have them or not. I'm hoping they do and I can get another one because it's much more comfortable on my hands than this little guy here is. Okay, that's all we need the scoreboard for. And bring my scissors back in. Now, on a square card like this, you just need to remember you're working on opposite ends for your little ears here. So we're going to come straight in and then make 2 little angle cuts. And then go to the opposite side and do the same thing. These boxes remind me of candy boxes, do they you? When I first started working years and years ago, I worked at the Sears candy kiosk inside the Sears store at the hometown that I was in, and that was a fun job. They had roasted nuts and all kinds of candy that you weighed out, and people would stop and you could chit chat, and it was a fun job. Funny how little things like this bring back memories, isn't it? Okay, we're almost there. See, now it doesn't take long at all to make a box, does it? You just got to get your dimensions the way you want them. That's it. Now we're just going to glue them up just like we did before. I'm going to fold them in, fold my ears. It just takes a little minute here, and you got your nice little box. These little pinwheel things I made as little favors to go on bags that we sent to, I believe, the nursing home for their birthday party, if I can remember correctly. But they will hold a little gift card. So I thought it would be fun, because I have 2 left over. I thought it would be fun to send a friend a little gift card for their birthday. I had to make a card to go with it, but won't that be fun? All right. Get them square, Julia. Don't be rushing. There's that one. Let's do this one. Get our little ears. There we go. There's half of it. All right. around the home stretch now. I don't know how many minutes we're into, but it hadn't been too long. And we're just about ready to have 2 nice little boxes. There we go. And we'll hope they fit. That's always the thing, isn't it? You got to get your measurements right now. Just take a minute and do your math the way you're supposed to. Let's see which is the top. Okay. So then this one will fit right down in there. Could have been a little smaller, couldn't it? That's all right. It works for me for what I wanted. And there's my other little box. So here's a card and a little gift box holder. And the formula will be over on the Facebook page, and it'll have this blank so you can print it and then figure out your little dimensions the next time you have one of these little weird things that you've got to make a box for. I did go ahead and decorate the outside top of this box. It is going to go through the mail, so I didn't want to have any dimension on it because that would kind of defeat the purpose. But so here it is. It's all ready to go, and it coordinates with the card. And so there's the card inside. And here's the inside. So I hope this helps you all with the concept of making boxes for these odd-shaped things. They're easy to make and they're fun. So this is Julia, and I hope you have a great week and come back soon. Bye-bye.